What's good, YouTube? Cardfight King here, Aqua Life Baby. You already know how it is. Well, this might be the reverse of it. It's Fire Life right now. But I'm doing a deck profile for my brother's Dragonic Overlord, the Cross deck. Able to get that completed this weekend, so just wanted to profile the deck for you guys, and it's going to be featured in a match versus my Ravon deck next. So definitely stay tuned for that. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna run through the deck, just show you guys, the build that we're running. And then we'll go back in and kind of explain, just a few key points in it. So definitely, if you want to stick around for that, stick around for more of an explanation afterwards. But let's get started. Yes, we did get an SP cross pack, so that's very, very nice. Very nice. We like this. So obviously it's Conroe. And then let me get these. So we're going to be doing 4 heals. We are actually doing 6 draws and 6 criticals. So trigger line up, 6 draws, 6 crit, 4 heal, nothing too much there. For the grade 1 lineup, so grade 1s we're going 4 Lava Flow Dragon, grade 3 Searcher. I disagree if anyone says you don't need 4. 4 Heat Shot, really good card. 3 Flame of Hope Airmote, and 2 Calamity Tower Wyvern. And that will be for the grade 1 lineup. Moving on to the grade 2s, we have 4 Wyvern Strike Decat. Pretty much the like one of the best cards in the deck. Really, he's basically kind of turns your cross into a kill turn. 4 copies of Tord Cannon and 4 copies of Igni Road. I really like Tord Cannon and 4 Igni Road. So just going with those 12 grade 2s, and then last but not least, our grade 3s. We got 4 copies of Dragonic Overlord, The End, and we got 4 copies of Dragonic Overlord, The Cross. So basically that's the deck, guys. And now what I want to do is just get into a few things, not too much, but I want to explain a few things. Starting out with the End, pretty much. It definitely is a Force 2 deck. I don't see you really doing Force 1 ever, really, in this deck at all. The End, you'd need 4. I know some people say, oh, you get away with 3 because you could put it back, but it's like, you need to see 4. There are a lot of times where you're damaging the ends, where they're in the drop zone and you don't see your Tord Cannon. I know some people play Burning Horn or Burnout Dragon, but you need to see 4. You need to have 4 of the ends to play this deck optimally. Don't short yourself on it. Obviously, he's not the card you want to ride, so you really don't want to. You really don't want to not ride him, because then you'd be in the world of trouble. The reason why we play 4 Decat. Now, I mean, these two are self-explanatory. Tord Cannon's easy, just to counterblast 1, below something, below grade 2 or less, draw a card. If you're on the cross, or if you have your hand is 4 or less, and you get to put copies of the End back into the bottom of your deck, so that's always a good thing. And then Igni Road obviously is a fantastic card as well. 25k when you're done doing your 3 swings with your Vanguard, and he searches the top 7 Vanguard or Rearguard for the cross. Simple, easy. Now Decat. Some people I've seen run 2 Decat or 3 Decat. We're running 4 Decat because this is the card that you want to see. The thing about it is that there are opponents that will sit there and give you 2 damage, and especially if you're going first. If you get 2 damage going first, you can actually end the game on your turn 3 by having 1 canvas open for Decat, and then you use a cross. Their opponents at grade 2, they don't exactly have a big hand, and now they have to deal with a pretty a Vanguard. Hopefully you have Heat Shot behind it, that they're going to have to commit 2 cards to block each time. Obviously, your opponent has a higher chance of hitting damage triggers if they're taking multiple damage at the same time, but they're also in a position where, yeah, my Vanguard still hits. how many cards are you going to commit out of your hand in multiples of, in at least 2 to guard him. This card late game is sickening. Very good late game. Just really good at all points of the game. Sometimes, depending on what your hand is and where it's at, you may want to hold back on him and use him maybe mid game on your second cross turn or anything like that. But like Decat is such important. We tried him before at 2. It was bad. You need to see him. We tried him at 3. 3 was decent, but but after playtesting against like Messiah, my brother was playtesting against Messiah and everything. This is a card where, like I said before in the last video, it's a bursty meta, and you need to have this, and you need to be able to get to this card as soon as possible to make your cross turn the absolute most effective. So that's why we run 4 Decat. It's just too important. Like I said, we have tested other ratios, but again, in a bursty meta, we found that is the best for what you want to do. For the 3 Emerald and 2, Heat Shot and Lava Flow are pretty much self-explanatory. Drop and draw in Vanguard Circle, and restands whenever your Vanguard restands. Simple card, and the Lava Flow is a grade 3 searcher. But we went with 3 Emerald and 2 Calamity Tower. So I have seen some builds that have taken out like Calamity Tower and whatnot, but we went with this because Airmo really only works with Torrid Cannon, right? And if you happen to poke something on your opponent's rear guard, then you combo that with Airmo. Otherwise, he doesn't do exactly too much other than be a pretty sweet 11k booster, right? But we cut him down because we cut him down to 3 because we wanted to add in that 4th copy of Decat, because Decat is such an important card. Then, and 3 is perfectly fine. We see him often enough. It's not like he's like the most reliable card in the deck. He's very, very good. Can't lie, he's very good. You definitely want him in the deck. But Decat's, importance in the deck is more than this one. Now, do that cut down, we actually just played 2 copies of Calamity Tower Wyvern. Now, we were running Calamity Tower at 3, and I think at one point when we first started testing the deck, we had him at 4 for some odd reason, but we've cut him down to 2. Calamity Tower Wyvern's a very good card, especially if you don't have a booster behind your Vanguard. Being able to Soul Blast a card, give your Vanguard 15k for the turn, and so your cross is swinging at 28k and then 38k without triggers, like in a boost, like that's actually really good. That's amazing. But again, there are other plays and other ways that you want to do more, because remember, Calamity Tower is a Soul Blast and kind of in a minus to give your Vanguard power, kind of like for a kill shot. So he's a card where it's more or less situationally dependent. Like if we have Heat Shot, we don't mind not using him. But if your opponent's kind of weak on shielding, or you're in a situation where you decotted, your opponent probably has like the Sentinel crits and maybe like a PG or not even PG, like some high shooting, like a heal trigger, whatever it is. You're sitting here like, okay, cool. Well, I want to force my opponent to give me a 2 to pass from high shielding and whatnot. So that's where Calamity Tower comes in, and and 2 I think is a pretty good number for him. Like I said, he's not the most essential card, but when we do get to Calamity Tower, he's a card in here that we can use in a multitude of different situations to help clutch out the game. And so that's why we like him here. Like I said, I know some people have taken him out. I know some other builds. We tried the deck without him, but just having him, included into the deck makes it run so much better than before. And we're running the 6 draw triggers primarily because you're discarding 3 cards to restand. This deck kind of loses a lot of advantage when you're swinging, like at least hand advantage, so to speak, right? And again, against decks like Messiah that have like a huge turn 3 burst, turn 2 burst if you got it, even OTTs and whatnot. You want to have a hand to keep up because it is definitely possible. Your opponent hits defensive triggers and lives. Your opponent has a good amount of shield value in his hand, and they can block it. And then you're left with like a small hand, and the opponent has a a stronger deck, has an extremely high burst turn where you're gonna know you're gonna eat damage, but you know you're gonna need to be able to block certain things. So in that regard, the 6 draw triggers help because we're getting about 4 checks in a turn. We hit a draw trigger that's just an extra card to hand for us. And it just works there. Plus, we're swinging their Vanguard with 2 crits, so I know hitting a crit trigger on it and 3 damage is nice, but if you're going to sacrifice survivability to hope to sack your opponent, then that's not good because, again, your opponent can also sack you back, and you need some card advantage. You need to see your Igni Rose. You want to see your D-Cats and things like that. So we just feel like the 6 draw trigger build definitely kind of works out in our favor, in our favor of being able to get us things to hand and being able to help see the cross and other things like that. But I hope you guys enjoy the deck profile. Definitely like, comment, subscribe. Aqua Life Baby. We're going to do Ravon versus the Cross next. And we're out of here.